There is only one topic this week. That is racial and social justice. This week we'll dive deep into what brands are doing and how they're communicating to lean into this conversation. And then finally, I'll talk about my personal resolutions about this topic. But first, this week you're seeing a lot of brands lean into the conversation specifically on social media. One that caught my attention was Nike. They put out a really interesting ad, specifically, just don't do it. The idea behind this campaign is don't pretend there's a problem going on in the United States. The idea is to open your mind and think about what issues may be occurring around you that some people may not be seeing personally in their lives. The last line in this Nike campaign: let's all be part of the change. Amazon came out with what I felt was a very positive message as well, supporting the Black community and social justice. It's a little interesting because there's some backlash specifically with Nike and Amazon based on prior issues and prior crises with both brands. Amazon specifically has come through issues specifically with COVID and treatment of warehouse workers. Some brands that have been absolutely too general of their support, organizations like ESPN, the NFL, have gotten a lot of backlash online. It's not enough to say, yes, this is an issue. Large organizations, large brands have that opportunity to lean in with actual resources, actions that can take place. Perhaps that looks like an organization giving employees the day off if they choose to protest. Perhaps that's saying, by this year, our board of directors will represent the American population. These very distinct, actionable items show actual change in our system. Brands have the opportunity to do that. For example, the music industry, a number of music outlets came together and gave all of their employees yesterday, the day off. If they chose to protest, they can have that opportunity. But the entire industry came together. How great is it if these large organizations and even industries with multiple organizations, part of industries, coming together and saying, you know what, we're going to have actionable steps. We are going to invest in Black-owned organizations to support us, or we're going to give days off to specifically support this or that if you wish to. Those action-oriented steps actually provide value to the community. Yesterday's Blackout Tuesday. I don't know if you scrolled through your Instagram or your social media pages, but when I did, a lot of my friends and people I was connected with were leaning into this. I love this awareness campaign. Even though it wasn't making a direct actionable step moving forward, it was that opportunity for people to lean in and have a conversation with one another. I know personally, due to this specifically, I had personal conversations. And finally, racism and social injustice continues to hurt my heart and more impactfully directly impacts people that I love and care for. Due to that, I wish to use my platform to voice any support that I can. And just like I say on brands, I can't be a hypocrite and say, well, all I need to do is say I'm united and I love everyone, right? That is equivalent to thoughts and prayers. What can I actually do? What I would love to encourage others is saying, what are your social justice resolutions? What actionable items could you do? Here's mine. First, if you are a student currently in my class, you know that we have assignments and discussions due midweek and end of the week. There's no late points whatsoever for our midweek assignments or discussions. Use that time however you want to use it. You can stay on the schedule, or you can say, as long as everything is turned in by this Sunday, it is all good, no late points. Second, I keynote speak and do corporate trainings throughout the entire year across the entire country, mostly before COVID-19, doing them digitally now. But one resolution I have is to impact those keynotes at some point to encourage social justice within those keynotes. And that resolution is not for you, the viewer, but instead I put it on video. So now I have to remember to include those in all of my keynotes. Otherwise, someone is going to call me out. It's sort of a digital foolproof plan to make sure that I remember to include those in all of those keynote addresses from 30 people all the way to keynotes that I have with hundreds. And finally, I want to encourage current students or past students of mine to have a conversation. Please email me. Just in the title line has to be chat or discussion. I'm going to send you a Zoom invite. We'll work out a time. And I just want to sit and listen. There is no lecture from me. I'm not going to talk about how brands are leaning into the conversation about race and racism and social injustice. I'm not going to give you any of that. What that time is if you want to speak. and you want someone to genuinely listen, that is what that is offered for. Shoot me an email. It doesn't have to say anything on the subject other than chat or talk. I'll set it up, and I'll be ready to listen. We'll see you next week.